following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
Okay, no Kessel? No trades? No problem, baby.
You right, man. Why? Because we've won 3 straight. Okay, and we've already traded 6 or 7 draft picks in 12 months. Who does that before they have any playoff experience? No one. It's okay, Canucks fans. The storybook season, it still has a chance. Let's talk about it.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
The trade deadline is officially in the rearview mirror, and that means the Canucks Stanley Cup push truly begins. I'm Trevor Beggs, co-host of Locked On Canucks. Welcome to the show, baby. Before we dive into things, we got to thank you for tuning into Locked On Canucks because, hey, it is your Canucks every damn day, baby, okay? If you haven't done so already, make sure you go subscribe or follow us for free on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Hey, before we get into things, I also got to shout out our friends at FanDuel. Make every moment more. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 if your bet wins. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon today to get started. This might have been the boldest day yet for the Alvin and Rutherford regime. You know, they've made the most trades in the NHL as of a couple of days ago this season. Big move for Lindholm, big move for Zadorov. Kessel's coming here. They could make trades for Gensel to Foley, and nothing happens, okay? Some fans should be pissed. Some fans maybe should be happy.
No, they shouldn't be pissed, bro. They shouldn't be pissed, bro. Okay, you know what? Fans are allowed to do whatever they want. I know you can feel the way you want to feel, blah, blah, blah. Dude, this team has no playoff experience. In the last 12 months, they've traded 6 draft picks. 2 first-round picks. Dude, that's the truth. You shouldn't be pissed. Like, I feel as if it's okay. If you weren't going to land Gensel, like the top dog, you should be totally content with them not doing anything to grab a crop of players that Alvin kind of alluded to as being not really full of quality. Anyways, Trevor, I had to cut you off because, come on, bro. It's an honest podcast.
Yeah, I think I meant to say, some fans are pissed. Some fans are not pissed. Kyle and I think, we're going to tell you right now, it's an okay deadline for the Canucks, okay? It's a great deadline for the Canucks because they didn't give up. They didn't mortgage the farm. And for me personally, again, that was my co-host, Kyle Bow, and you're listening to Locked On Canucks, your Canucks every day. One of the reasons why I'm not pissed about today is because I do not see this season as cup or bust. This is the beginning of the Canucks Stanley Cup window opening up. And the way I see it, this Canucks window is at least 3 years long, okay? It goes to the end of the Hughes deal. You got Demko here for 2 seasons after this one. Miller and Pettersson here long-term. The cup window is just opening up. They already made their move to trade away to acquire Elias Lindholm, acquire Nikita Zadorov. And, for the price of Gensel, again, if you were giving away Höglander and Lekkerimäki, if that was the ask, you can't do that trade. I don't care how good, Gensel is. Lekkerimäki, again, he's got a sky-high potential, and Höglander, yeah, he's pretty damn good himself. The Tyler Toffoli one is something we'll probably talk about as we get into the show a bit more. But again, you're talking about a rental. A guy who's probably not going to re-sign in Vancouver. And aside from that, aside from Thomas Hertl going and his massive contract going to Vegas, we'll touch on the Canucks versus the contenders as well. There wasn't a lot of big name players that were on the move. It was once again a fairly quiet trade deadline. Not a lot of big shocking deals outside of, the Hertl one. So, look, this Canucks management regime, they've only been here for 2 years. They've completely turned around this team. And just because they've turned around this team and the team's good this season, you don't go and mortgage the farm. Look, I said it last night when I wrote my pregame recap or my postgame recap for Daily Hive that if Patrick Alvin was basing his trade deadline decisions on the game last night, he's not making any moves because that was one of the most complete Canuck performances of the season against a Vegas team who has been one of the most aggressive teams, the most aggressive team I'd say at the trade deadline. So again, I'm happy that the Canucks didn't mortgage the future away today because it is not Stanley Cup or bust. The window has just opened up for your Vancouver Canucks, and fans should be excited about that.
Cup or bust. Kyle Bowen, Trevor Beggs doing this, and that's showing a lot of love for the Vancouver Canucks. Okay, winners of 3 straight. I got faith. Would I have liked some changes? maybe sure, Mikheyev going out, blah, 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 mixing things up in the top 6, bringing in Phil Kessel, bring a spark to, again, the wingers in the top 6, not putting so much pressure on the Pius Suter, blah, blah, blah. Of course. But at the same time, like I said, I am not comfortable with the team that has no playoff experience trading more than 6 picks in a 12-month span. And you look at Mr. Whale, okay? One of the coolest guys. Okay? Part of the what? What's the group called here? Anyways, part of the people here on Locked On Canucks. He's part of the Discord as well. Hey, if you want to win a couple Canucks tickets, March the 25th, join the Discord. Link in the bio, okay? Get in on the conversation. Speaking of which, Mr. Whale is talking, and he's talking about how the Canucks didn't have what? They didn't have like 4th-round picks laying around, 2nd-round picks laying around, 3rd-round picks laying around. What did Zucker go for? You know what I'm saying? They didn't have a 3rd round. Bro, if you kind of look at it, they do, but at the same time, they kind of don't because they've traded a lot of picks. A lot of picks. Didn't they get rid of a pick to ship Pearson out? Did they not do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they've
traded 7 picks in the last 12 months. And Baggsy just gets out of here, man. I think his internet is lagging or something. We'll get Baggsy back. Anyways, too many picks have already been traded, man. It's okay. It's okay. We got Trevor back. Hey, Richard asking if the Canucks tickets I'm giving up for what, March the 25th come with airfare? No, not yet, dude. One day. I guess you got to be local or make your way here, okay? Anyways, Beggsy, you got your internet back.
Yeah, that was actually my fault. I pressed the back button by accident. I was on my cat-friendly tab looking at trades, and I pressed the back button on the lobby. But it's all good. I'm back, baby. And your Vancouver Canucks are back in contention for the Stanley Cup, which is the most important takeaway here. And, again, to Mr. Whale's comment about, you couldn't get in on the action. Look, here's the way I feel about trade deadline. Maybe some of you took the day off. You're maybe smoking that morning bowl. You're cracking that morning beer. I don't know whatever you do for trade deadline. You want to see some action, right? Like, Kyle, you and I, maybe we were skipping school back and they didn't watch trade deadline because we're hockey nuts, right?
Want to know what I was doing? I was doing a lot. I woke up at 6 a.m, chill with my dog. I watched some of the deadline. I had 2 slices of pizza. Then I took a nap. I was with the family, family crib. It felt like the olden days, again, watching that trade deadline coverage before school started, because that's what I would do. Addicted to this stuff. Man, oh man. And the Canucks did what? Nothing. And you know what? I'm cool with that. And I know, Beggsy, you're going all over the place. I'm going all over the place. It's Friday. I don't really give a beep, I don't give a beep. Can we get right into it? Did the Canucks disrespect Phil Kessel? Are we going to get some bad karma from this? Because I hope not.
I wouldn't say they disrespected Phil Kessel, but it's surprising. Like, to me, that was the biggest surprise of the Canucks deadline is that they did not sign Phil Kessel. Look, and Alvin had nice things to say about Kessel afterwards, about him, being a professional. And here's the quote I'll say right now. Alvin said, quote, "I think Phil is a great person and a well-respected player with what he's done in the league. A 3-time Stanley Cup winner, blah, blah, blah. He wanted to come back and play, but with LTIR, roster complications, and how we want to play, it unfortunately wasn't a fit for us." Now, if it wasn't a fit, I'm surprised they didn't let Kessel know, a week ago. So maybe we could have signed with another team. Maybe no one else wanted Phil Kessel. That would kind of surprise me as well. But at the end of the day, Alvin's got to do what's right for these Canucks. And does Phil Kessel fit this current version of the Canucks? I don't think so. I don't think he does. Look at the way this team plays top to bottom. There are not a lot of players like Phil who, despite the offensive gifts he has go out and float out there. Canucks don't have that in the organization. Even a guy like Besser, who's considered more of an offense first guy, like he's a good 200-foot player too.
Bro,
there are no guys on this Canucks teams that take shifts off.
Exactly, and when they're on, when the Canucks are on, nobody's taking a shift off. And in them not taking a shift off, you kind of see that they're kind of bought into playing the exact same way, and that's being extremely hard to play against. Really hard to play against. Now, I don't know about you, Trevor, but I felt as if that was one of the most impressive Brock Besser games I've seen in a very long time. No, actually, you know what? One of the most impressive games of his career, considering who he was going up against and how he was making things happen. And it wasn't flashy. It wasn't because of the goals, but it was Brock Besser winning almost every single 50-50 battle against the Vegas Golden Knights. That's a big team. And when I saw that happen, and I'm not completely content with just being satisfied with Mikheyev's performance and, thus looking into the future and seeing, oh, that could actually be a fit because Mikheyev looked really good and really strong on that line as well. But when you see that Miller line, and you kind of saw this with DiGiuseppe early on, when they're playing like that, when they're just engaged and they're winning all their board battles, you kind of look forward to the playoffs because that's, even though I haven't seen the playoffs in a very long time, that's actually how the playoffs look. And they do it really well.
Yeah, 100%. And again, I think part of the reason why Canucks fans should be happy with this deadline is, again, not only did they not mortgage the farm, but this Canucks team is good. They're good. I think it lost to the trade deadline hype here is that they are tied for second overall in the NHL right now. They have a 4-point cushion on first overall in the Western Conference. They're 1 point back of the Florida Panthers for first overall in the league. Okay, so, again, I think later in the show we'll get to, the Canucks versus the contenders because some contenders made moves. Although it's interesting, the Oilers did not make a move today. That was one team that did not make any moves. Colorado did most of their work beforehand. We'll get to that a little bit later on. But, overall, again, I think this is a good day for the Vancouver Canucks because they didn't mortgage their future. Again, you look at the draft picks they even had this year. The Canucks, if the Canucks make it to the conference finals and don't acquire any more picks before the drafts, their picks in the drafts will be 4th, 6th, 6th, and 7th round. Okay, the Canucks have made a lot of moves to this team, right? And they don't have their first in, I don't think they have they don't have their third in the next 2 drafts as well in 2025 or 2026. So this team has made a lot of moves.
Yeah.
I think, if you get guys like, Dakota Joshua back, it's going to be a big boost for this team. So, and again, I don't think this is the year to go all in. Some of these guys like Gensel, maybe they want to come to the Canucks in free agency. And I know we'll get to that maybe later on here on Locked On Canucks in another day.
In a summer episode. But yeah, you talk about guys like, oh, Joshua's going to come back and Susie's just getting back in the lineup. Well, those guys are like trade deadline acquisitions, bro. I don't like those moral trade deadline connections. Okay. They're not trade deadline acquisitions. You know, what's like a big like impact acquisition though, is the next tier in Elias Pettersson's game. And we're waiting for that. Like, it's going to happen. I'm not doubting that at all. Before game 82, before the playoffs start, Pettersson's going to get going on another level, and that's going to take this team, a tier above where they are right now, / back to where they were playing, late October, all November, January. The swag is coming back. This team can be a lot better. Trevor's not saying it's cup or bust. I'm saying it's cup or bust because I still think that trading 7 picks is a lot of picks. Like, your expectations should be getting to the Stanley Cup Finals. I'm not going to be mad. I'm not going to be angry. I'm not going to be disappointed. I'm just saying internally, I think they've moved their pieces to put themselves in a place where that is one of the goals. Like, okay, yeah, we want to gain experience, right? And it's one step at a time, and maybe we'll make these moves next year, blah, blah, blah. No, but this season still really, really, really matters, and they could get lucky. Whether it be matchups, whether it be having all their players kind of play at this elite level, which we've seen in the past in the regular season. This team could still be very special with the way it is, with 0 moves being made on March the 8th, 2024.
Yeah, and I'll say it one more time before we cut to break. It's all good, baby. Yeah, exactly. Just shout out to Deandre's 49 commenting. Why fix what isn't broken? And that's right. This is Vancouver Canucks, one of the best teams in the NHL. On the other side, let's get a little bit more granular about it. I want to grade the moves that the Canucks did not make, okay? And how we feel about it. I know it seems like a weird concept, but that's what I want to do on the other side. Before we do that, let's show to the sponsor who's offering 50% off. You crazy guys. Okay, it is Factor Meals, baby.
Okay.
All right, Kyle. I know you're a busy guy. You got 57 things to do, but how's the healthy eating going? Are you finding you doing more takeout?
No way. Oh yeah, definitely, because I've been working a lot later, like so much later. I got to get back to meal prepping. I love to cook, and I always tell myself I'm going to cook around 7 or 8, but I never get home at 7 or 8. I get home at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock almost every night. Anyways, it's 1:30 right now. I've had 6 slices of pizza and this banana that's not eaten yet, because when you eat like ish, you don't even, like, these things do not look good. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to eat a banana right now. Anyways, I've had 6 slices of pizza already.
Yeah, that ain't good, man. And that's why a guy like you needs Factor Meals, especially when they're offering 50% off. But I'll get to that, okay? But Factor Meals, okay? You could eat. They're always fresh, never frozen meals. They are chef-crafted, dietitian approved, and ready to go in just 2 minutes, okay? You'll have over 35 different options to choose from every week, along with 60 add-ons. They got all kinds of stuff, okay? Again, 2-minute meals. Fuel up fast with Factor's restaurant-quality meals that are ready to heat whenever you are. Not only is there meals, there's pancakes, smoothies, and more. Okay. And you know what? This isn't like those other companies where you get sent the healthy stuff. You got to make the whole meal yourself. There's no prep. There's no mess. Factor meals, again, they're ready to heat and eat. So there's no prepping, cooking, or cleanup needed. And Kyle, for a busy guy like you, it's flexible for your schedule.
Okay.
Get as much or as little from Factor as you need by choosing your meals every week. Plus, you can pause or reschedule your deliveries at any time. So sign up and save. We've done the math, and Factor is less expensive than that takeout. And every meal, again, is dietitian approved to be nutritious and delicious. So here it is, baby. Head over to factormeals.com/LockedOnNHL50 and use code LockedOnNHL50 to get 50% off. That's LockedOnNHL50 at factormeals.com. LockedOnNHL50, again, to get 50% off. What?
Okay. We back here on Locked On Canucks. My name is Kyle Ballin. That right there is Trevor Beggs. We're doing this when? On NHL trade deadline 2024, a day in which your Canucks do absolutely nothing, man. Absolutely nothing. And that's okay. That's kind of cool. That's kind of confident. It's a vote of confidence to the group. Now, to that group, a group that no longer involves Phil Kessel, right? Someone that I put already into the equation, right? I spent a lot of time with Phil Kessel over the last couple of weeks mentally, right? Even last night, I was watching 2016 Pens highlights because I was ready for it. I really was ready for it. I'm not even joking.
That's crazy.
It was going down. It was going down. Now, I always thought that the Canucks were going to do this move because they were going to use Phil Kessel as not only a player, but like as another coach, as another leader in that room, play that moral card. And I guess that's why I'm kind of surprised it didn't happen. But at the same time, that's also a vote of confidence that this team doesn't really need all that fluff, You know what I'm saying? Maybe they can get it done. It's a tight-knit group already. And look, bro, come on, Trevor. We barely talked. Can we talk about it for like 3 or 4 more minutes just before you get into like this whole talking about other teams and these deals we didn't make, blah, blah, blah. That game yesterday, man. Wasn't that like, again, I know they got to play the Jets tomorrow. It's hockey night in Canada. The lights are going to be on. We're going to forget about the Vegas game. But that was impressive the whole way through.
I mean, the whole road trip was impressive, right? Like, the beating the Ducks isn't that impressive, but in every game, the Canucks defense was so solid. Against the Kings, they gave up 4 high danger chances the entire game. Against the Golden Knights, they gave up 3 high danger chances the whole game. I mean, Quinn Hughes, when he was on the ice, just in that one game against LA, was on the ice for 10 high danger chances. So they shut things down. They did not give up a lot at all. Again, probably a bit of a shame that neither Demko or Smith could pick up a shutout because, again, they deserved it. The Canucks defense shut things down, and I think that was a vote of confidence on the defense for sure.
Yeah.
How
did Noah Juleson play that good against Vegas? How did Noah Juleson play that good against Vegas?
The guy's leveled up, man. Adam Foote has rubbed off of this guy. Maybe Adam Foote is just vicariously living through Noah Juleson right now. Noah Juleson just throwing the body around in this last road trip as well. I mean, that it's again. I do wonder, and maybe I'll throw it to you. How much do you think this road trip, played into the Canucks' decision not to do anything on trade deadline day?
Okay, so I'm not going to call Alvin a liar because he was asked this question, and he didn't really touch on that much. He talked about how they've been working towards the deadline every day for weeks and weeks. I'm metaphorically speaking, but they weren't going to make their decisions based off what happened this week. But you know the deal. You know the deal. Yeah. We all live in this realm of recency bias, okay? Anyways, before Bagsy talks about the trades we didn't make, can I just read this comment, okay? Who is this guy? Kurthing? I love you, okay? Look at this. We're the only playoff team not to add anyone this week. Maybe that's our advantage this year. Zigging when everyone else is zagging. Now everyone has to fit in their new toys, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so with like a month and a half left, it's one of those things that is connected to the whole Lindholm thing too, right? Like that's this, like, how we've been panicking about Lindholm? Well, I have, because I'm pretty soft. Didn't we say we're happy we did this because he would have this cushion before he could get going? And then you look at what happened yesterday, and again, not a sexy game. And I know he was on the score sheet for that third goal, right? Made a great play at the blue line, blah, blah, blah. Garland scored a goal, right? But even if he doesn't get an assist there, I swear to you, when you're focusing on games like that against Vegas or bigger teams, and I think we're going to see another good game from Lindholm tomorrow, you notice Lindholm the whole way through. You know what I'm saying? Because he's not costing you.
Yeah, and I want Lindholm to prove me wrong because I've said time and time again on this show, shout out to the everydayers, they know this. I think Lindholm needs to play with Pettersson. I've said that time and time again. Now, yesterday, he looked great as a third line center. And, I think Tocchet wants that, deep depth down the middle. But, again, Lindholm's played his best when he's with star players, being the complementary piece, not the line driver. Now, that being said, a guy like Garland can drive a line. So I think that's why it can work on the third line. But, at the end of the day, I think, again, there has been an adjustment period with Lindholm. That's why the Canucks got him early, Kyle, like you said. And I think we're going to see a lot better from him moving forward and in the playoffs. I know I see in our comments as well, like, oh, yeah, Lindholm's a bust. He's not going to do anything. Look, I think Lindholm's floor is high. I think we've probably seen the worst that Elias Lindholm is. He doesn't make mistakes. He's just not flashy, right? And I think that's one of the issues, right? You pay a big package, you want that flash and the razzle-dazzle. But, I feel good about Lindholm moving forward. I thought Mikheyev has played better recently as well. I still love him in the top 6.
Yeah.
Again, it's not cup or bust this season. I think the Canucks have some flexibility now with a ton of UFAs to maybe make a big move in the offseason. But let this group go on a run. Let's see what they can do. And let's have some fun, man. Let's have some fun watching these Vancouver Canucks. Now, Kyle, I did want to ask you, okay, the Canucks don't sign Phil Kessel. How would you grade the decision for the Canucks not to sign Phil Kessel?
I think right away, I'm talking 12:01 when Thomas Drance was on the radio and he said that the Canucks are not making any moves. It's official. I can confirm this and I'll, bet everything on it. I was a little pissed off. But 5 minutes later, I realized that, it's a vote of confidence. It's all good, man. These guys know, bro. If they needed Phil Kessel to even be a leader, they would have done it, They would have done it. Can you hear the phone ringing in the back? Is that something you can hear? Yeah. Oh, why don't you say anything? Keep talking. I'll turn it off.
No, it's all good. I'm not too worried about it. I'm going to give the Canucks a C grade for not signing Phil Kessel. I think it would have been a low-cost value signing to bring Kessel and add him to this team. But at the end of the day, I think, it was low stakes regardless. You were bringing Kessel in for the vibes, but this is a guy that was probably going to play on your fourth line if he was going to play at all. So I think the fact they didn't sign him, not a big deal. Now, the other thing I want to get to, Kyle, is Tyler Toffoli. And the decision not to acquire Tyler Toffoli when we saw that the price was a second and a third round pick. How would you grade the Canucks' decision not to outbid the Winnipeg Jets for Tyler Toffoli?
Dude, they couldn't. Okay? You just said we have -3 draft picks this year. You know what I'm saying? And bro, they don't even have the salary cap. Oh, okay. How about somebody wants Mikheyev? Okay, we're going to have to send a pick over with Mikheyev so somebody retains a salary. We don't even got those picks. Bro.
Yeah.
How did I feel? It's okay, man. It's okay. Bro, we just won 3 straight games, dude. We just won 3 straight games. We played our best game yesterday against Vegas. Bro, you know me. I've been here for days and days and days saying this. April is around the corner. I only give a beep about hockey games. You know what I'm saying? The Canucks, for the most part this season, one little slide, and maybe some mediocre play sometime in December. Bro, this team has Thatcher Demko too, okay? They're pretty good. I'm not worried because we didn't trade a second and fourth round pick to get Tyler Toffoli. I know the Jets got him, and the Jets are, somewhat competition if we see them in late May. But I ain't worried, man. Come on, man.
Yeah, I'm going to grade that decision a B, not to acquire Toffoli. And again, I think there's sticker shock. You see that price, you're like, why couldn't the Canucks do it? But okay, they don't have a second this year. The third round pick has a condition on it with the Calgary Flames, so there's some things to think about there. But they barely have any picks this year. That's the bottom line. And Tyler, to your point, don't have the cap space. So I think if the Canucks were going to acquire Toffoli, they would have had to send Mikheyev the other way. And depending on what New Jersey thought of Mikheyev, maybe it would have had to be a second Mikheyev and a prospect like Podkolzin. I think it just it didn't make a lot of sense for the Canucks to acquire Toffoli. So again, I think not doing anything there, not giving up a good prospect and a guy you like in Podkolzin probably makes some sense. And then finally, Kyle, I know where you lean on this as well. The decision not to acquire Jake Guentzel. I'm giving that one an A, which sounds bold, but when the price was Höglander, Lekkerimäki, and a first, let's say, made sense not to trade for Jake Guentzel.
Yeah, I'm gonna give that one an A too. Bro, they gave up their whole AHL team, man.
Yeah,
it's
Carolina
okay, man. It's
Carolina had good prospects, right? So they actually held on to their best prospects. So it worked out for them, whereas we would have had to give up our best prospects, and that's not really a fair trade.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know, man. Did I really want Gensel? I did, because he's really good. In fact, I would have stomached it if we did make a trade, because he's really good. This team's really good. I would have to just get over the whole prospect thing and just aim for the cup, right? But at the same time, I'm not going to be disappointed, because recency bias, bro. Something tells me that the Canucks are back. Canucks are back. Okay?
They're
Straight
back,
up,
but
man.
they do got to go through some of their other foes in the Western Conference.
Mhm.
Let's talk a bit about the Canucks versus the contenders on the other side, and maybe it'll lead into the Canucks and Jets, which is happening. Big game Saturday night. Before we get into that, I got to shout out our friends over at Indeed. All right, if you're hiring, you need Indeed, because Indeed is the hiring partner where you can attract, hire, and interview all in one place. And Indeed is the only job site where you're guaranteed to find quality applications that meet your must-have job requirements, or else you don't pay. Instead of spending hours on multiple job sites looking for the right candidates, you need one powerful hiring partner that can help you do it all. Indeed partners with you on every step of the hiring process. Find great talent through time-saving tools like Indeed Instant Match, assessments, and virtual interviews. With Indeed Instant Match, as soon as you sponsor a post, you get a short list of quality candidates like Kyle Badwin with resumes on Indeed that match your job description. One of the things I love about Indeed is that they make hiring all in one place so easy, okay? They are the real creators of the That Was Easy button. Sorry, Staples. Over at Indeed, they make it easy to hire great talent fast. According to ComScore, Indeed is the #1 job site worldwide. And Indeed delivers 4 times more hires than all other job sites combined, according to Talent Nest. Join more than 3 million businesses worldwide that use Indeed to hire great talent fast. Start hiring right now with a $75 sponsored job credit to upgrade your job post at Indeed.com/lockedon. Offer valid through March 31st. Go to Indeed.com/lockedon to claim your $75 credit before March 31st. Indeed.com/lockedon. Terms and conditions apply. Need to hire? You need Indeed.
Man, we're going to have a lot of fun tonight in Vancouver, all my real fans.
Okay, we back right here having this conversation about your Vancouver Canucks. My name is Kyle Bowen. That right there is my homie, Trevor Beggs. We just watched the trade deadline, right? Addicted to our phones, our devices, doing our things, and the Canucks did what? Did nothing. And you know what that equates to? It equates to hope. Straight up. Hope in that room, and hope that we see more of what we saw last night. Speaking of which, okay, John, this guy named John, bro. Look what he's commenting, okay? Canucks are overrated, and Kyle sounds like a seal. You know what I got to say to this? The Canucks are not overrated, and my girlfriend is hot, dude. My girlfriend is hot, and she had a show last night in North Van. She sounded amazing. I wasn't there. I had to work, a.k.a. do some editing, and watch the Canucks game, which means I was happy, man. I was happy to miss that performance. Dude, straight up, the Canucks, man. It is what it is. Bro, like, what if I just seen the highlights of that game? You get what I'm saying? Maybe I'm not taking what the Canucks did today for what it is. Maybe I'm being irrational because, again, I was really impressed with the 60-minute man-like effort against the Golden Knights last night. And I know you're about to bring up the Golden Knights for all the other reasons, but yeah, man, I'm happy. Can I ask you one more question about that game? Because I saw Harmon kind of allude to the possibility of this, and now we had Patrick Alvin saying something like, having Teddy Bluger as your fourth-line center is a luxury, right? Bro, there's no way if Dakota Joshua comes back that they're not reuniting one of the best lines in hockey, because that line was good for 3 months. And you know how I was talking about watching the Phil Kessel highlights from 2016? Benino, Hagelin on his line. Bro, I'm telling you, I know we don't have Phil Kessel, but that third line gives me that type of vibes. And there's somebody in the comments, I think he goes by the name of Dave. I'm not comparing the players, but man, oh man. Connor Garland, he's really good when he's on. And if he continues to be really good when he's on, again, that third line in the playoffs, full of chemistry, is something that needs to stick together. I don't care how good Lindholm is playing. As a two-way player, and he's a smart player, doesn't make him, dude. We didn't bring in Lindholm to get rid of one of the best lines on this team, if not the best 5-on-5 line on the team.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you, Kyle, and that's part of the reason why I'm very bullish on seeing Lindholm back on the Pettersson line. But for now, Dakota Joshua's out, and again, reports today from the interweb, or that Dakota Josh was about 10 days to 2 weeks away from returning. That might have come from Alfie, and my head's swimming with all kinds of stuff. Someone talked about Canucks being overrated, and Kyle sounded like a seal. Again, Kyle, he's got a hot girlfriend. But who else is overrated is the Vegas Golden Knights. And I wanted to bring it this week, so I found it kind of funny. But again, the Vegas has gone 2-8-1 in the last 11 games. They're now in a wild card spot. They're actually 8th overall. So as of the game ending last night, if the playoffs were to start today, it would be the Canucks first in the West, Vegas 8th in the West. So it'll be Canucks and Vegas in round 1. This is a legit possibility now. And again, so Vegas is 2-8-1 in the last 11 games, and they decided it was time to trade away David Edstrom, their first rounder from last year, a 2025 first, a 2026 first, a 2024 second, a 2025 third, a 2026 fourth, and a 2024 fifth. So you're talking about trading away, basically 3 first-round picks, including David Edstrom, and 4 other picks to load up on another cup run. When again, they're right on the cusp of missing the playoffs right now. So I think it'd be hilarious if Vegas missed the playoffs. That's what I'm cheering for first and foremost. But on top of that, I would love to see the Canucks face Vegas in round 1. I think that would be a tough test for this Canucks team, a great test. And I would love to see the Canucks, again, like they did to the St. Louis Blues in 2020, knock out the defending champs in round 1. That would be spicy as hell. I'm here for it. And yeah, Vegas, again, I think it might be a bit overrated.
Yo, you almost made me cry there, man. I've been wanting that energy from you, okay? I need some of that energy, straight up. You know how we have these people like, oh, I'd really like it if the Vancouver Canucks should face Calgary in the first round or Seattle. It's like, dude, what's up? Yo, we up there in the standings, bro. Bring on anybody. If it's Vegas, bring them on. Because we know, man, if we're going to get to June, you're going to have to face these good teams anyways. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. And, I brought up this crazy point. Again, the Canucks have to get lucky to win the Stanley Cup, right? That's the ultimate goal. This team has no playoff experience. Yes, right now feels like a Cinderella story, or it feels really good and all this hope is there. But case in point, there's no playoff experience on this team, really, collectively. I know they have like Ian Cole guys, blah, blah, blah. But as a unit, they haven't really done this before. So they got to get lucky to kind of go far. You know how they can find luck or, get to a point where they kind of hit it, how they can buy that time? They can do it if they have Thatcher Demko being on his game, a.k.a. Thatcher Demko is totally a dude who can steal you a series, a.k.a. let's say you're in a 7-game series and you play really bad in games 2 and 3, but you win those games because of your goalie, and then boom, out of nowhere, JT Miller gets going again, Pettersson gets going again, Quinn Hughes gets going again. You know what I'm saying? There's a recipe for that type of momentum to happen for this team on multiple occasions, and it just keeps drawing me back to the possibility of us winning a Stanley Cup. The Canucks, they made 0 trades today. 0 trades today. And what does Trevor do? He says, bring on the Golden Knights in round 1. That's the energy that you need. If you're watching the show or listening to the show, bro, look at the standings. Look at how we played recently, okay? I know a couple weeks ago it was dark, but this week it got better and better, and it was mad impressive last night. Go Canucks, go, okay? The Discord, the link in the bio. If you subscribe to the Discord, you enter for a chance to win 2 tickets to an LA Kings game versus your Vancouver Canucks on March the 25th at Rogers Arena. Again, join the Discord. The link is in the bio. Go Canucks, go. Shout out to Patrick Alvin. Showing a lot of confidence in the boys, and also realizing that if my math is correct, I said 6 at the beginning of this episode. It might be 8. Did we trade a pick for Lafferty too? Did we do that?
5th. Yeah, 5th round pick for Lafferty.
8 draft picks in 12 months. 8 draft picks in 12 months, including 2 first rounders and Hunter Bushevich. Okay? There's a reason why they made 0 trades today on March the 8th, 2024. It's okay. We good. Begsy, take it away. Say what you want to say.
Let's go, baby. No, that's all I got. Again, I think big game against the Winnipeg Jets on Saturday. I think that's the last thing I'll say before we get out of here, Kyle, unless you got anything else to say. Winnipeg Jets might be the quietest President's Trophy contender of all time. I don't think this team gets a lot of respect, but they're good.
Let's get our revenge tomorrow. Let's get our revenge tomorrow. Let's man up again. Let's play the exact same way we did against Vegas, right? Saturday night, we're back at home, maybe a little bit more flash. Yeah, let's score 4 against Hellebuck. 4-1. I know Topoli's not going to play tomorrow. He's not going to play tomorrow. So let's just carry on the momentum, man. Straight up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I think, if the Canucks want to hold on to top spot in the West, which could mean something, especially if that means a day with the Vegas Golden Knights, then you want to beat the Winnipeg Jets, right? And again, you want to beat all the contenders in the West, right? And, the Canucks, I thought outplayed Winnipeg the last time that the Jets were here at Rogers Arena. But obviously kind of Hellebuck was the number one star in that game. So let's go. I don't see them losing 2 in a row to the Jets. Let's make it 4 wins in a row. Let's push for top spot in the league. Not that matters because only the Stanley Cup matters. But you know what? We obviously, you want to play well down the stretch. And let's, again, prove LV right. Prove that, their boldest move yet was not making any moves because this Canucks team is damn good and they don't need the help, okay? And, we can't wait to talk more about this team on other episodes of Locked On Canucks. So shout out to all you, the everydayers, occasional listeners, first-time listeners, new subscribers, and those of you who join us here on the live YouTube feed. We love each and every one of you, your families, and your dogs too. Go Canucks, go, baby. No moves today, no moves needed. It's all good because, hey, hockey's coming to the Canucks for Canucks fans in late April and maybe even into June, baby.
Dude, just say it's going to happen in June. You can put it out there, bro. Can you just say it right now? The Canucks are winning the Stanley Cup. Can you do that for us? It's all good. You're not going to die. Nobody's going to hold it to your, Trevor Beggs is the biggest idiot hockey reporter ever for not saying that. The Canucks, for getting it wrong about the Canucks. Just say it, man. The Canucks are going to win the Stanley Cup, and then we're going to sign out.
The Canucks are going to win the Stanley Cup. Let's go.
This year. Peace.
Your Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks. Part of the Locked On